Let's speak to Jamie MacColl, who's a cyber security research analyst at the think tank Rusi. Jamie, good to have you with us. So we seem to be seeing more and more of these kind of cyber attacks, these ransomware attacks, and they seem to be becoming more sophisticated. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think really over the last 2 years, we've just seen an explosion of what we'd call human-operated or targeted ransomware attacks, which means that rather than just targeting individual users, they'll target an entire corporate network, or in this case, several hundreds or even thousands of companies at the same time.
And the evidence points to gangs or hackers that are based in Russia or the former Soviet Union. Do we know if these attacks have been carried out with the tacit approval of the Russian government, or at least the Russian government's turning a blind eye?
Yeah, I mean, that is the million-dollar question, I guess. I think it's doubtful that the Russian government or the Russian intelligence community has direct oversight or control of these gangs. It's certainly true that some of the hackers associated with these gangs are known to have worked with the Russian government on Russian government operations, and some of them have been sanctioned by the US government because of that. But I think what characterizes the relationship is more that it's a permissive environment where the Russian governments know these groups exist. They probably know who the majority of the individuals are, but they don't have direct control of them. And because of that, it does make it harder to put direct pressure on the Russian government to do something about it.
Right. So, I mean, worst case scenarios are that these attacks could be extremely serious. They're already targeting key installations and infrastructure. How do countries and security agencies protect against that?
Well, I guess there are two approaches, both of which need to happen at the same time. The first is to improve the defenses of companies and critical national infrastructure providers. So that's in a lot of ways that can be doing the basics, like not clicking on phishing links, patching software vulnerabilities. The problem is that doing the basics is really hard, particularly for small to medium enterprises who make up the majority of victims of cybercrime. And in this case, I imagine nearly all of the victims are SMEs. And then the other approach is to essentially disrupt the ransomware actors themselves. And that can involve a number of things. It could involve directly targeting their kind of IT infrastructure with offensive cyber attacks. That may be happening, but not been disclosed already. The other thing is tracking and taking back ransom payments that have been paid via cryptocurrency. We saw with the Colonial Pipeline attack in May that the FBI was able to track and recover some of those funds. And then finally, there is, I guess, the potential, and we saw this at the Biden-Putin summit last month, there's the potential to put pressure on the Russian government directly to do something about it. Whether that achieves the desired effect is an ongoing question. Both the US and the UK governments have for the last few years publicly called out Russia over cyber attacks, whether by the Russian government or by ransomware groups. And to date, it's had very little effect on changing the behavior either of the Russian government actors or ransomware groups.
Well, it sounds like cybersecurity researchers like yourself are going to be kept very, very busy in the future. Jamie, thank you very much indeed. Jamie MacColl there.